2NUR FM News for our sponsor General Trades, professional roofing, maintenance and restoration.
It's 8:30. Good morning, I'm Belinda de Lasheras with Hunter News. Arson Squad detectives are appealing for public assistance as investigations continue into a deliberately lit fire at the junction in Newcastle last year. Emergency services were called to the Kemp Street property just after midnight on Sunday, July 7, to find the building engulfed in flames. Rory O'Connor from police headquarters says police are now on the lookout for a grey or silver late 1990s model BMW.
The Property Crime Squad's arson unit subsequently set up Strikeforce Chaperone to investigate the matter. Police have today released CCTV footage of a car travelling along Kemp Street shortly before the fire, as well as footage of a man walking near the building.
Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Authorities have confirmed Newcastle's beaches will remain closed for a record 6 days in a row today, following an unverified shark sighting in Nobbies yesterday. Helicopters made sweeps between Stockton and Redhead yesterday, but were unable to trace the 5-metre great white predator. Lifeguards will now spend extended hours patrolling our shores as they warn people to stay out of the water. It's feared an increasing shortage of sheriff's officers servicing the region's courts could pose a risk to public safety. It follows reports Maitland Courthouse has been forced to operate at various intervals without sheriff's officers, on top of delays to criminal trials in Newcastle. Shadow Minister for the Hunter, Sonia Hornery, says it's a disaster waiting to happen.
If the Baird government isn't willing to employ adequate numbers of sheriff's officers to protect the community and the staff at courthouses, will they be answerable, of course, to the Baird government to any kind of wrongdoing or damage or violence that occurs outside a courthouse because the sheriff's officer wasn't present?
Hunter motorists continue to face price hikes at the petrol bowser, forking out an average 17 cents a litre more for fuel than Sydney drivers. E10 is currently selling for around $1.25 in Newcastle, while Sydney siders escape for $1.08 a litre. The NRMA is blaming the price gap on a lack of competition between petrol retailers. Indigenous entrepreneurs are set to benefit from a free series of business development workshops in Newcastle as part of a national assistance program. Participants will receive the opportunity to work with a business specialist to determine the commercial viability of their idea, along with basic day-to-day management skills. Program Manager Eric Oates says the next seminar will take place in Newcastle on Thursday, January 22.
The best way to find out about the workshops, and we still have a couple of places left, is to ring the local office, and the free call number of 1800 107 107. You'll talk directly to our local operator, and the manager there will give you a bit of a rundown on the workshops and can register your attendance.
Briefly, a man who allegedly indecently exposed himself to a University of Newcastle student at Waratah West over the weekend has been charged after handing himself into police overnight. As many as 40 jobs could be set to go from Toronto Private Hospital after owners announced their intention to shut all surgical theatres imminently, and the Baird government insists work to conceal tracks at Newcastle's Stewart Avenue level crossing isn't in breach of an injunction preventing the city's rail removal before the matter faces court once again in March. Now with sport, Cecilia Connell.
Argentinian playmaker Marcos Flores is the latest Jet to feature in the club's Tale of Woes, announcing he could be headed to the US to join American Soccer League club Jacksonville Armada. It's understood a 3-year contract's on the table, pending his ability to be released from the Jets 3 months early. Keeper Mark Virgidi has also indicated he wants to leave during the transfer window. It follows Sam Galloway's departure to the Wanderers on Monday. There's calls for Newcastle District Cricket to schedule its midweek twilight matches later in the evening to enable more players to take part in the T20 competition after knocking off from work for the day. The games currently start at 5 p.m, with many skippers concerned the early start mean they've had to field second-rate sides. And injured Newcastle knight Alex McKinnon has made a major breakthrough in his rehabilitation, standing for the first time in 10 months following his horrific spinal injury. That's sport. I'm Cecilia Connell.
2NUR FM news time is 26 to 9.